If you just joined, please click follow. There are lucky bags and red packets in the top left corner. So this is the overview of today's lesson. We are about to begin. My friends, thank you everyone for this small gift. We are getting started now. First, let me ask everyone a question. The backswing for underspin. ... meaning the racket preparation to loop an underspin ball. The lower left. Or should it be in the middle? If you think the backswing for underspin ... should go towards the lower left. Type 1. Friends, if you feel that the backswing ... should go towards the middle to loop an underspin then type ball. 2. Friends. Right, if you all think ... for example, you think the backswing should be ... towards the lower left. Everyone type 1. If you think it should be directly downward towards the stomach area. Everyone type 2. Right. Friends, you can type it out. Expressing your own feeling is very important. Where should the backswing go? I see both one everyone south and speak up actively. Speak up actively. Type out your own feelings. Type it out. And for the friends who there are lucky bags and red packets everyone in the can top go left. Claim them. Friends, if you just please join, click follow. Click follow. I see both one south and to south. I see both one south friends, and to let south. Let me explain it to you. The most important thing for looping underspin is ... the racket preparation backswing. When looping an underspin many ball, people take their backswing towards the middle. Straight up and down. If you loop straight down and straight up like this, it's mostly ... actually trying to create friction and actually for the backhand loop against if underspin. You want to completely control it. Where should you take the backswing? You should bring the racket towards your left to hip. Loop underspin. This backswing should find the ... left instead hip of position. Towards the middle. Looping towards the middle is mostly, to be honest, it's just pursuing stability. The ability ... Let me ask for some follows. Thank you for clicking follow. Thank you, everyone. So this is the first point. Whether you are a pen-hold player, a shake-hand player, or a traditional blocker, the backswing is the first point. Where to take the backswing? Find your hip. And for an underspin ball, it is different from topspin. I'll demonstrate it for everyone shortly. Then everyone can see how I play it. Now, I am explaining it to you. Speak from your own experience. Based on your own personal feeling. Your own personal feeling is a very important thing. Friends, let me explain it to everyone. Underspin ... Underspin is hit during the falling stage. Middle of the falling stage. Everyone, remember this. Underspin is at the middle of the falling stage. Topspin is hit during the rising stage. You must remember these two. All right, friends. You must remember these two. For underspin, look for the falling stage. The falling stage. Because an underspin ball has a downward dropping force. So you cannot loop it at the rising stage. Now let's move on to the next part. Let's talk about the backswing. Look, the backswing for topspin. See, my motion for topspin. This is my motion for topspin. Did you see it? From left to right, from left to right, and my shoulder is raised. But if it is an underspin ball, for an underspin ball, what extra motion did I add? What motion did I add? Did you see, friends? I added a motion of dropping the shoulder. This is for topspin. See, this is topspin. For underspin, I added a shoulder dropping backswing motion. Did everyone see that? Did you see it, friends? Right? Please tap the like button. Lucky bags and red packets in the top left. Did everyone see? There is a shoulder dropping motion. This motion is very important. This motion is crucial. Because without this dropping shoulder motion, you won't be able to find the contact point. You won't find the contact point. This shoulder dropping motion. This is our first point. Let's officially talk about the mechanics. The shoulder dropping motion requires your hand. Your hand preparing the racket. Must drop below the level of the table. It must go below your table. Look, my table is bring it below your table. Because if I demonstrate from the other side, you won't be able to see my stroke. Friends, bring it below the table. Then, what is the most critical action? Tucking the shoulder inward. Look at my shoulder. This is for topspin. Look at my underspin. My shoulder has an inward tucking motion. An inward tuck. When I tuck it inward, my weight presses onto the left foot. There is a waist rotation. There is a waist rotation. Tuck the shoulder inward. Then the hand, look, pulls downwards. The elbow acts as a fixed pivot. Friends, the hand part acts as a fixed pivot. Drop the shoulder. Then the hand pulls downward. Did you see that? Right now, what I'm explaining is highly important. Friends, this is very important. Drop the shoulder and pull downwards. For an underspin ball, it starts with the weight pressed on the left foot. Initially, the weight is on the left foot. I am using a right-handed player as an example. If there are left-handed players then here, you press onto your right foot. Friends, did everyone understand this? The first point is dropping the shoulder. First point is dropping the shoulder. The second point is the backswing. First point is dropping the shoulder. Second point is dropping the shoulder. The second point, the elbow acts as a fixed pivot. Did you see that, friends? Elbow acts as a fixed pivot. Being fixed, pull the hand downwards. Once the shoulder drops, the elbow is fixed and the hand pulls downwards. The third point is your center of gravity. Which means my center of gravity is currently resting on my left leg. See that? Right now, my weight is pressing on the left leg and my right leg. Is in a supporting, stabilizing state. This is the third point. This is taking the backswing to accumulate feeling of waiting power. For the ball. Understand, friends? This feeling of waiting. Then, when you apply force. Meaning when you contact the ball. Where do you turn your waist to apply force? Friends, let me explain this. When initiating the stroke to hit the ball, this will involve how to hold the racket. Friends, this involves the grip. For the grip, you must use the thumb. Like the pen hold reverse backhand, it requires using the thumb to press the blade. The three fingers on the back. Look at how they are positioned one after another. Did you see? The three fingers on the back are lined up sequentially. Use the thumb to press the blade. The back three fingers use the middle finger to push against the rubber. Thumb presses the racket. Middle finger and the other two back fingers push against the rubber. Did you see that, friends? This is about the hand holding the racket. The fourth point. This is the fourth point. When taking the backswing, use your thumb to press the blade. And use your middle finger to push against the rubber. The racket has a curling back motion. Look, watch this blade closely. The blade has a curling back, pulling backward motion. Did you see? Curling back and pulling backward. Pulling down to loop. And your weight is in this position. Then rising up. Now I'll tell you which part to use to generate power. Are there any of you who, when looping underspin, single quotes to know how to apply power? Right. I see one south, one south, and to south. I see them for an underspin ball. South and to south. When it reaches this point, why can't you generate power? It's because if you solely use your arm to hit the ball, you won't be able to apply power. If you solely rely on your arm to hit the ball, you won't be able to generate power. You absolutely must know how to use your center of gravity. Extremely effortless. You'll find it extremely effortless. Use the thumb to hook back and press down. The back three fingers support it. When it's time to execute the stroke, starting to execute the stroke. The friction during the execution. Because sometimes you can't read. The spin of the opponent's incoming serve to your backhand. For all serves where you can't read the spin. Loop to the opponent's middle position, friends. For example, sometimes they serve a reverse pendulum serve. Sometimes a backhand serve. When you can't read the spin, just loop to their middle position. Everyone remember this. This is a useful tip. And when you apply force, this is very important. Which part of the body should you use to generate this force? Let me ask you guys a question. Let's not have me do all the talking. Let me ask everyone a question. When you contact the ball, when you apply force on the backhand, which part do you use to apply power? For example, the hand, the shoulder, the legs, the core. You can type your choices in the live chat. First, the center of gravity is resting on the left leg. Right. Everyone can send me some popularity tickets to boost the popularity of our stream. As long as you watch me for 3 minutes. You'll all receive popularity tickets. Thank you, everyone. Lucky bags and red packets in the top left. Everyone can go claim them. Now I will teach everyone the sequence. I'll teach everyone the sequence. What is the sequence? Use the legs first. Use the legs first. Feel the legs planted on this. Your entire center of gravity is planted on the left leg. Find this feeling. Then push off with your legs. And finally, it goes to the hand. Use the legs first. Leg drives the waist. Waist drives the hand. Everyone memorize this. The sequence of generating power is leg drives waist. Waist drives waist. Waist drives hand. Look at how I apply power here. Leg drives waist. Waist drives hand. Just look at my initial push-off. It is leg driving waist. Waist driving hand. Everyone memorize this. Friends. Everyone memorize this. This is how the body applies power. Now let's talk about the next part. How should the hand strike the ball next? All right. Now you know leg drives waist when you actually hit the ball. Watch my stroke. The thumb is hooked tightly onto the blade here. The thumb is hooked tightly here. Absolutely do not use your index finger to hook the blade. Absolutely do not use your index finger to hook it. My shoulder gets raised when pushing forward. Look, I have no proper racket face. What is the biggest fear in penhold reverse backhand? The biggest fear is not having a proper racket face to hit with. Because as everyone didn't exist originally, it was traditional push was an innovation. So the racket face angle is extremely important. You must use the thumb to press the blade. Look at my racket face angle with the thumb pressing. See, it opens up faces forward. If I relax, it drops down. The thumb presses. The racket face opens up. This. If I use my index finger to press with my index finger, my racket face becomes completely flat. Did you see that? So you must use the thumb to press the blade. Thumb presses the blade. Then how should the hand apply force? Elbow and shoulder act as a fixed unit, friends? Right. Thumb presses the blade. The back three fingers support it. The back three fingers support it. When executing the power generation. Doesn't it have this inward tucking posture? Didn't I explain it to you all at the beginning? Inward tucking posture. This is accumulating power loading. Surely know. In table tennis, hitting the ball. When the ball comes at you, there needs to be space to hit it. Without this space, you can't generate power. Understand, friends? So everyone must know. Don't raise your elbow and relax them. Tuck the elbow thumb presses inward. The racket. Tuck the shoulder. Here, the thumb presses the blade. Index finger stabilizes. Shoulder relax. Tuck the shoulder inward slightly. And everyone must pay attention to one point. Pay attention to one very critical point. Which is your elbow. Friends, did you see my elbow? This elbow of yours must absolutely not if it doesn't act as a fixed pivot. I would have no way to. See, then I wobble. Some people loop like this. Looping like this. This elbow part must act as a fixed supporting pivot. Understand, everyone must remember this. Friends, you must definitely remember as a fixed supporting pivot. When initiating the stroke, at which part one used to apply the power. Hand. When initiating the stroke, the racket face initially points downward. Can you see it? Can you see the racket face? Can you see the racket face? See, my racket head initially points downward. The racket has a slight curling back motion. See, the racket has a curling back motion. Which part turns to do this? It's using the thumb pressing the blade to execute this turn. The thumb guides it. See? It needs to have a curling back motion. Look at the shape of my racket. It's pointing towards this o'clock direction. The 7 o'clock direction. Isn't it a clock face? You just point to that 7 o'clock direction. This is the 7 o'clock direction. It has a curling back motion. Because for backhand looping underspin like this, you won't be able to create an arc. Does everyone understand this? You won't be able to create the arc. So there must be a curling back motion. That means this racket to pull back. See, must have a pull back. Did you see my pointing at the 7 o'clock direction? Remember this. 7 o'clock direction. Then the next point. When initiating the stroke, which part applies power first? Leading with the elbow acting as a fixed pivot. Turn the elbow and my body follows the movement. Turn the elbow first and my body follows. The moment of contact. The moment you contact the ball. The final moment of contact. Is using your forearm to drive it upward. Did you see? Friends, the moment of contact. Use the forearm. Forearm executes. I execute. After the stroke is executed. What does my racket face look like? The racket face initially points at 7 o'clock. After I complete the stroke, my racket face does this. Did you see? This exact motion naturally creates the arc. Understand, friends? With this motion, it naturally creates the arc. So when you loop underspin, it won't hit the net anymore. Understand? It won't hit the net anymore. So this racket face angle, everyone must absolutely remember the legs. Talks about the legs. Leg drives waist. Waist drives hand. Friends, this is the third point. Leg drives waist. Waist drives hand. Remember this. Then the fourth point. The fourth point is the thumb presses the racket. Middle finger and the back three fingers push against the racket. Center of gravity first presses onto the left leg. This is the fourth point. Friends, this is the fourth point. Then the fifth point. The final moment of executing the stroke. You must use your elbow to control it, acting as a driving force. It goes like this. If you control the backswing like this, as soon as it drops down, you lift it up. It naturally lifts the arc up. And it won't hit the net. Understand? Friends, it won't hit the net.